Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about the DevOps projects. Whether you are a fresher or an experienced person, trust me, you will find this video very useful because in the video, I'll address all the questions that you have about the projects. Typically, this is going to be the flow of the video. I'll start with answering the most asked question. Are projects still relevant? In the world of AI, when you can quickly do the things, you still have to go with project-based learning. I'll address that first. Then I'll talk about projects for freshers versus projects for experienced people. This is where most of the people go wrong in the resumes or even in the interviews. Very, very important topic. So then I'll talk about it. And finally, I'll share some reference projects in the video. In the description of this video, you'll at least find 10 to 15 projects. All of them are production ready projects. You can directly use those projects, or if you want to be innovative, you can take help of AI, modify those projects a little, and showcase them as your projects for learning. So we'll talk about a lot of things in the video. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Firstly, now the most asked thing, do you still have to go with project-based learning in 2026? The question is very valid because today you can use AI to write a Kubernetes manifest, a Docker file, or even a shell script. So why should you spend a lot of time in finding a project? Once you find the project, you have to understand it, and then you have to implement DevOps on top of it. Then you have to figure out how to put that in the resume, how to talk about it in the interview. Do you have to do all of this? The answer is absolutely yes. Because when you go for an interview, nobody is going to give you an AI and nobody is going to ask you write a Docker file. Even if someone asks you to write a Docker file, they are going to ask you write a Docker file without using AI. So in any of the case, when you go for interview, they are going to ask you questions about the project. Most likely the first question in the interview is going to be, tell me your project. What challenges have you faced in your recent project? Now, imagine you started your DevOps journey. You learned a lot of things from the videos, but haven't implemented any project. All that effort has gone waste. Of course, learning is very, very important. Whether you go through videos on our channel or videos on the internet, you have to understand the theory part. Then you have to implement what you have learned through a proof of concept. But to sum it and to, you know, be very efficient, you have to implement the concept as a project. And you also have to implement the DevOps concept that you learned through a project. Not individually, but by combining the DevOps tools that you have learned. Git, CI/CD, Terraform, Kubernetes, observability, together implement a project so that you can explain it in your interviews. Right? I hope this is clear. Projects are still relevant. Most of your interview, 30 minutes, 1 hour, is going to be on the project. Now let's go to the next thing. That is even more important. Projects for freshers versus projects for experienced people. 90% of the learners go wrong in this topic. They pick up a fresher project, they showcase that as an experienced project. Instantly, their resume gets rejected. They don't even get interview calls. Same, they try to put it in the Naukri or LinkedIn. Let's try to understand what are fresher projects, what is an experienced engineers project. Firstly, let's start with freshers. Who are freshers? Again, there is a lot of discussion on this. Who are freshers? Someone who just completed their college, maybe looking for an internship, or maybe trying for their full-time job, the first full-time job. They are considered freshers. If you come from different background, it can be QA, it can be development, or it can be non-IT as well. You are not considered as fresher. Very few startups might do it, but I'm talking in general, you are not considered as a fresher. Do not apply for a fresher position. Most likely you will be getting rejected, right? So freshers are someone who just completed their engineering, looking for internship or maybe a full-time job. Now, what kind of projects do they have to show? I know a lot of people on this channel are freshers. So let me tell you, just go to the description of the video. As I told you, you will find 10 to 15 projects. Just use them as is. All of them are the projects that you can show on your resume. Now, if you want to be creative, as I told you, pick up AI. You can just go for chat GPT, ask it to modify, or maybe you can go for GitHub Copilot, Claude, change project a bit, and then your project becomes unique. You can show it in your resume. Most importantly, put that entire project in your GitHub. Perfect. Fork the project and showcase the project fork in your resume. Now let's come to the experienced people. So when you are an experienced person, your project is going to be the client that you are working for. Let me give an example. Imagine you are working for TCS and let's say your client is Ericsson. So the project that you're currently working for is Ericsson, not two-tier application, three-tier application. They are fresher projects, right? This is where a lot of people go wrong in the resume. So they say they have 5 years experience in DevOps. Maybe they learned from my channel. They are very confident that they can clear the interviews. But the moment in the resume, they add three-tier application deployment or three-tier application CI/CD implementation. Trust me, your resume is instantly rejected. Even by any chance, recruiter approves your resume and it goes to the engineering person who is taking the interview, they will instantly reject you because they know this cannot be a project. Whether you are working for a startup, whether you are working for experience like MNCs, the project is going to be the client that you are working for. If you're working in a product-based company, the company that you're working for is developing a product and that product is your project, right? So you have to talk about your client in the resume, just 1 to 2 lines. But then Abhishek, what about the things that we learned? Don't we have to perform a project-based learning? Even you have to do it. If you go to the description, you will find projects, implement DevOps on top of that, and add the things that you have learned as tasks in your resume. This is the only difference. So when you are an experienced person, you can talk about your client for 1 to 2 lines, and then whatever you have implemented, for example, you have implemented CI/CD, add that as a task in the resume. Or maybe you have implemented Kubernetes cluster creation, add that as a task in the resume, right? So this way, within the project, you can add 10 to 15 points, whatever you have learned through project-based learning. So in your case, if you are an experienced person, project-based learning is just for your understanding. Typically how a three-tier architecture application DevOps is implemented or two-tier architecture DevOps is implemented, but please don't put that in the resume. The moment you put that, you will be rejected, right? Make it a very, very professional resume. If you have 5 years experience, let's say you work for 2 companies, then add 2 projects, name of the 2 companies that you work for and name of the clients that you work for. So this is the difference between fresher and experienced person. If it is still not very clear, don't worry. You can find the resumes on our Telegram channel. The Telegram channel is in the description. I cannot put the word file here, so that's why. If you are interested, look at the Telegram channel media section. You will find fresher resume as well as experienced person resume. Take those resumes as inspiration and prepare your resumes, right? This is very, very important. Now, finally, what kind of projects, right? Very important. Do you have to buy the projects? There are a lot of projects that you can buy on the internet. You can find AI DevOps projects, you can find regular DevOps projects. You don't need any of that. Trust me, there are thousands of projects on GitHub. Even if I am making a project, even if I'm teaching you a project, I go to GitHub, I take the project and I explain you those projects, right? I build DevOps on top of that and I explain you those projects. I've done the same thing in Udemy as well. We have a DevOps project on Udemy. I've done the same thing. I've taken the project from GitHub, the source code. I implemented DevOps on top of it and I explained how to implement DevOps in my Udemy course. Anybody would do the same thing. So if you cannot afford a Udemy course for DevOps project, or you know, if you want to do it by yourself, I would say that is the best thing to do, right? Go find the projects on GitHub, implement DevOps on top of that. You will find hundreds and thousands of projects of GitHub. Any programming language, any tech stack, they are available there. Just for your motivation and inspiration, I added 10 to 15 projects in the description. If you want, you can use them directly. Or go to GitHub, crawl GitHub, find the projects, use them, right? So this is about the projects as well. So project-based learning is very, very important. I hope I answered all your questions about the project. If you still have something, do let me know in the comment section. I'm more than happy to help you in this aspect, because after all, once you learn DevOps, the most important thing for you is to clear the DevOps interview, right? If not, what is the point of learning? So very happy to help you. Just post your comments in the comment section. If it is relevant, I'll reply back to you. Or if I feel it is going to take time, I'll make another video on it, or probably a short. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you all in the next one. Take care.